This collection punches way above its price point. Hi, I'm Joe, your Dean of Sense, and today I finally got my hands on the Game of Spades Collection Edition series. I got this over the holidays and finally have taken some time to look into these fragrances, and I can tell you, they're all pretty darn good. And we're going to get into it a little bit more. So I picked these up on a Black Friday deal, and I'm going to show you my favorite ones out of the collection. One of the first ones that comes up right away is the Game of Spades Emerald. And Emerald is basically a clone or inspired by of Louis Vuitton's Symphony. I was at Louis Vuitton a few weeks ago, and I got a chance to compare this one to the actual LV in the store. And this one does a really great job and projects probably even better. Really great scent, and probably God, this one might be my favorite in the collection, but there's a couple others coming up that are also really amazing. So that's Game of Spades Emerald. The next one that I really enjoyed was the Game of Spades Bonus. Bonus is inspired by Pacific Chill. Again, I was able to compare those. It's just very zingy and light. Love this bottle style too. It's you're definitely not going to lose this bottle. But again, just a really fresh, zingy, summertime vibes fragrance. It really does a great job. And again, it lasts. So far, I've wore each of these and they've lasted on my skin, throughout the day. I had to reapply at the end of the day, but I expect that. Again, all of these Game of Spades fragrances are going to be probably a little bit more than some of the other clone versions you might see out on the market. But what I will say is that the quality is really here, and that some of these project a little bit more, and they definitely last longer. They do a really nice job with these fragrances in their line. Everyone's heard of Louis Vuitton Imagination, and this is Game of Spades version. It's called Full House. They had some of these smaller samples within the collector's edition, and this one again does a wonderful job. It just has a really great smell to it. I mean, those who know Louis Vuitton Imagination by this point. Most people have got their nose on one of the many clones out there. But when I think about all the clones that are out there, this one rises right to the top. The other one that I really enjoyed that I didn't really know much about until before this was Game of Spades Wildcard. This one is probably a contender for my favorite fragrance in the lineup. This is a Bond No. 9 Lafayette Street interpretation fragrance, and I had an alt fragrance that was similar to this that I kind of had to kind of get my nose on that Lafayette Street DNA, and this one does a way better job. I really can't recommend this one enough. It's Game of Spades Wildcard, excellent scent, and maybe my favorite in the Game of Spades lineup. And then finally, in my collection here, we've got Game of Spades Royale, and this one is another Bond No. 9 fragrance. This one is Tribeca. So again, they do an excellent job of cloning that type of fragrance, good performance, good projection. I'm really impressed with the Game of Spades lineup. So hopefully this little quick review was helpful for you. If you'd like more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'd love for you to tell me down in the comments what your favorite Game of Spades fragrance is and which one do you want to try next, because I'm already impressed. Took me a while to get my hands on one of the fragrances. Glad I got the collector's edition. Was super impressed with it. And I'll probably be picking up some full bottles of these soon. I'm Joe, your Dean of Sense. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'll see you in the next one.